All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about one of the most maddening patterns in dating, and I can pretty much guarantee the real reason it keeps happening is not what you think it is. So, does this sound familiar? You meet someone new, the sparks are flying, it all feels so different this time. And then, boom, 6 months, maybe a year down the road, you're having the exact same fight, feeling that same old sinking feeling, and just wondering, how did I end up back here again? You've made the lists, right? We all have. Must be funny, has to be emotionally available, a great communicator. But here's the thing, that checklist, it doesn't work. Not really. Because you're not actually the one doing the choosing from that list. Your nervous system is. And it's running a program you probably don't even know exists. So let's really get into what this pattern feels like from the inside. It's not always some big, fiery explosion. A lot of the time it's quieter, more like a slow, silent drift. Take what Priya, a 38-year-old doctor, said. On paper, her marriage looked perfect. Great careers, wonderful kids, the beautiful house. But inside, she just felt flat, like she was physically present in her marriage, but not really in it. There wasn't some huge crisis. It was just this gradual erosion of warmth until she felt, in her own words, like a guest in the life she'd built. And that just perfectly captures the pattern so many of us fall into. It kicks off with that crazy intensity, right? But then, slowly, that feeling that your partner is your safe place starts to fade. The conversations get polite, but they stay on the surface. And you start having the same fight over and over again. Yeah, the topic might be what to have for dinner, but the real fight is about feeling seen, feeling safe. And it all leads to that gut-wrenching paradox, feeling totally and completely alone while you're sitting right next to the person you love. Okay, so why does this happen? Well, the answer is buried in something called attachment theory. And honestly, this is the key that unlocks the whole mystery. Attachment theory basically says that way back in our earliest childhood, our brain creates what's called an internal working model. Just think of it like a subconscious operating manual for relationships. It was written before you even had words, and it controls what you expect from love, how you deal with conflict, and what just feels normal to you. And this manual shapes our attachment style. So, if your parents were pretty consistent and loving, you probably developed a secure attachment. But if that love and care felt unpredictable, well, you might lean towards an anxious style, where you kind of cling, or an avoidant style, where you pull away to feel safe. And just look at that last column. It shows exactly how these deep-seated views predict how we'll act when things get tough. And this is the absolute core of it all. Your brain's number one job is not to make you happy, it's to keep you alive. And to that ancient primitive part of your brain, familiar equals safe. So it will unconsciously steer you towards partners and situations that feel like the emotional home you grew up in, not because it's healthy, but because it knows the rules of that game. It knows how to survive there. A truly healthy, secure relationship can feel so foreign that your nervous system literally flags it as a danger. So this gravitational pull towards what's familiar, it creates this powerful psychological loop that keeps us stuck. It literally turns our hidden, unconscious beliefs into our day-to-day reality. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's a process where a belief you have, and you might not even be aware you have it, makes you act in ways that end up making the belief come true. And here's exactly how it plays out, creating this vicious cycle. It all starts with a core belief, something like, deep down, I'm not worthy of consistent love. That belief then drives your behavior. Maybe you're always asking for reassurance, or maybe you pull away first to protect yourself. Well, that behavior puts pressure on your partner, who then, pretty predictably, gets frustrated or pulls back themselves. And then, their reaction becomes your proof. You tell yourself, see, I knew it. Nobody ever sticks around. The prophecy is fulfilled. And the whole loop is primed and ready to go for the next person who comes along. Okay, so that's the trap. It's deep, it's neurological, and it reinforces itself. But, and this is the good news, the very same brain that wired these patterns has the ability to rewire them. So here's where you start. First things first, you gotta stop looking outside of yourself for a different kind of person and start looking inside at your own programming. The problem isn't your type, it's the belief system that makes that type feel so familiar. So ask yourself this, what's the feeling that keeps coming up in my relationships? Is it feeling unseen, betrayed, abandoned? Whatever that feeling is, that's your clue. It's a breadcrumb trail leading you straight to the core belief that's running the show. Okay, this one is huge. As you start to do this work and you meet someone who's actually healthy and secure, someone consistent and open, it might feel boring. Yeah, boring. That is not a red flag. That is a sign of progress. Boring is just what your nervous system calls peace when it's been wired for drama. Learning to actually sit in that calm and not run from it is an absolute game changer. Number 3, you have to learn how to create safety inside your own body first. Your nervous system is always scanning for danger, but you can actively calm it down. You can intentionally signal to your own brain that you're safe. I mean, it can be as simple as making real, warm eye contact with a barista, or listening to a common piece of music, or even just putting a hand on your own chest and taking a deep breath. These little things aren't silly. They are actively shifting you out of fight or flight. And fourth, you have to get this. Self-worth is not something you think, it's something you do. It's behavioral. You can't just repeat affirmations in the mirror. You have to prove your worth to yourself with your actions. What does that look like? It looks like setting a boundary and actually sticking to it. It looks like walking away from things that feel disrespectful. It means choosing you again and again and again until your actions send a brand new, powerful message to your subconscious about what you deserve. See, when you start to change your behavior, you change who you are at a fundamental level. And that brings us to the most critical takeaway from all of this. Just let that one sink in for a second. The universe, the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't respond to your wish list. It responds to your actions. It responds to what you tolerate. You don't attract what you want. You attract the sum total of your beliefs, your boundaries, and your behavior. So, in the end, it's time to stop getting mad at the mirror. The people and the patterns that show up in your life aren't punishment. They're a diagnostic tool. They are reflecting back to you with perfect clarity the work that's waiting to be done on the inside. So the real question isn't, why do I keep picking the wrong people? The real question is, what is this pattern trying to show me about myself?